Hello and welcome to SGDC. I'm your ethically sourced host. These nuts. Gotta show your stuff. Today we have stuff. First presenter couldn't bother to show up, so we go to the second presenter, Natasha. Woo!
Yes, come.
Oh, yes.
I'll stand in front of the camera over here. So,
Yes, we are the Shake team.
hello. We did a game jam over the weekend, and we'd like to show off what we did. If I can find the. Oh, there we are. There we go. Are we supposed to press like slideshow or something?
Yeah.
There! We did a game jam! And, Teen suddenly told me that she wanted to game jam, so we did it last weekend. And we participated in this, mini Jame Gam, which ran from, like, Friday at 1 p.m. until Sunday at 11 p.m. Although I thought it was 9, so I stopped 2 hours early, but that was okay. So we decided to make a point-and-click adventure game, and we wanted to make it story-based, but I decided to make it just one screen to keep the scope down. And right from the beginning, we came up with this idea of having a story that has kind of like a dark, kind of shocking ending. And so we made this game. The title, Pure Darkness, is because I thought that was one of the themes, but I got confused on that a bit. It was actually like one of 3 themes that were being voted on. The actual theme was Lost Signal. So we ended up using that for the name of the band in our story. Yeah. So far, we made a point-and-click adventure game which has a couple of interactions you can do in it. So it's got like this dresser here that you can click, and stuff happens when you click that. And it's also got this tape here that you can click. And so far, that's what I managed to put in the game in a weekend. So this is kind of like basically what the entire game looks like. And oh, here's also a screenshot of a bit earlier when I put in the let's talk about what parts we did in the game jam. And
Okay. So I was the 3D artist. I did like the backgrounds for the game, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of have it kind of like an old school kind of like semi-realistic, like when people are like, oh yeah, trying out 3D, but also kind of keep it where it's like, okay, still, kind of like stylized in a way. So we're like, okay, we'll make it like a cool bedroom. Have a couple of different like panels for like when you're playing the game, you make things like interact. We have a couple of different like screenshots of the different backgrounds as it changes. Won't spoil the ending, but yeah, we made 2 different like kind of screenshots of the background, like one with the secret object and one without. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
The cake was a lie, by the way. Anyway, I did the character art, and the 2D art. Like, I didn't do the art. Like, obviously, we all both did the art, because, 3D art and 2D art. But I did all the little 2D sprites, and she did most of the 3D background work.
Tintin also did the, like, UI design, basically. Like, I made this, but I kind of based it off of her, like, color scheme anyways, so, yeah. So, what did you use to make the 3D art, by the way? I know
I use Blender, and I didn't have time to make every asset, so I just went on cdtrader.com and got like TV, little stereo, and a PlayStation system. And I was like, oh shoot, I don't got time to like fill up the room with a lot of stuff. So I just like made everything but like the 3 big assets in there. So
Cool. Okay, so I did the like game engine and coding for it, and I also kind of initially came up with the story concept, but I guess it's kind of a together story at this point. I used Adventure Game Studio to make it, and it was my first time using it, and I just kind of like sped through making it that screen on Saturday, which was kind of fun. And one of the biggest challenges was actually making this dialogue box here, because like the dialogue, the elements they had in the engine that could do dialogue were kind of tricky. So like they didn't do quite what I wanted, so I ended up making stuff up. Yeah. Anyone want to say something else?
Well, any questions, class?
You mentioned you made this in Adventure Game Studio, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that like an editor where you can drag stuff in, or do you have to code a lot? Like, I've never heard of it.
It's a game engine that runs on Windows. I think it like only runs on Windows, and it can make games, like it can export to Windows and Android, and I think also like maybe Linux, but I don't think it can do Mac OS or web. So that's one limitation. It's kind of a coding heavy editor. Although there's a lot of built-in stuff, like if you want to make, it has some templates. I've heard like if you want to make a game that's kind of like Monkey Island, you could pretty much do that with very like a lot less of your own kind of fiddling, because it's kind of designed for that very, but yeah, for that kind of use case.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, anyone else want to say something?
Thank you.
Okay, we're good. Thank
thank you for making the presentation. That was awesome.
You might recognize him from his twin brothers who died in 9/11. It's not random. It's actually Martin.
No, it's Martin. Where's Martin? Fight me.
Oh, you can go anyway.
No, you go. If it's your squats.
Okay. You go? Can I?
Yeah, you're last because you missed out.
That's not how it works. I figured.
Who's the first person?
I figured I would just call myself.
I was second. Someone
Mother
was in front of
somewhere.
me. Private. Oh.
Martin. Martin. Hopefully this works.
Are you calling yourself?
Yeah. I want us to do a live demo. Oh no.
Alright.
This is gonna work really well. Just gonna try that again. Or I'm just feeling lonely and I want someone to talk to me. Okay. There we go. We got. Cool.
I didn't call.
Okay, this is really annoying. Can someone else go while I try to figure this out?
Alright. Is that Daniel?
Yeah, he's not here now.
Go next time.
Yep, I guess.
Hello! Surprise! I even went half an hour before and tested if my slide works.
Oh,
Isn't
is that
that...
what you should do?
Sorry, that turned into a roast. But hello guys. I shamefully noticed that my last SGDC was last year, October, which is a long time ago. And I was like, maybe I should do a reintroduction. Maybe. I'm a 2D artist and illustrator. I've been here for 4 years and I'm from Germany, but that doesn't really matter. And I do stuff. So I want to show some stuff I'm doing. I'm working on Calcium Chaos, where I'm a 2D artist and I wear a lot of hats, so I do a lot of projects. But yeah, I do prop art, character art design, and UI UX. And just to show you some stuff, these were some... I worked on character development and did character design. This was an exploration for our scientist character, who was very nerdy. And I wanted her to be punk and into paranormal things like, Cerberus and all this. So these were all design ideas for one character, and then this was the final one. I love her. This is Kim, and she's fucking great. And and then the next part was developing items out of there that people would use in the train or have their own rooms. So I would translate the character and the personality into items that then will appear in the train. When people find the characters, they will have the interior there as well. The next thing I've been recently up to was doing a banana logo. Yes, you don't want to know how long this took. You really don't want to know how long this took, because believe me, it took very long if you're not the one making the creative decisions and you have to give your client a lot of options. This, for example, was the start out character sheet where I explored a lot of different variations and gave them options of in which direction they wanted to go to. And then, ultimately that was the character sheet where we had the base shape designed and wanted to now explore the colors and the layout and everything of that. And didn't even know that banana could come in so many shapes and sizes. Sorry. Anyway, that's more fitting here. That's the final logo, and then it's different pixel variations. Mate did the pixelated banana and also the different resolutions. And I will probably in the future talk a bit more about this project and show you more of the whole process behind it. Then I also... Oh, am I allowed to do that? Otherwise I skip everything. Okay. I also did a layout design for the stream for Nordic Game Conference. And just going to quickly show you. These were some assets I made. You probably will recognize Stanley, for example. And it was supposed to be a cozy, wholesome stage design that's inspired by the vibe of our house. The idea is that there's paper cutouts. And anyway, there's some more. And I managed to put the colors from the Nordic Game Conference into this kind of design as well, without it looking very contrasty to my pastel color palette. Then most of you might know, who know me for a long time, I do a lot of car illustrations. I have a client since 4 years basically, where I do a lot of illustrations for, and I'm currently doing cars. That is a car. That is cars. It's the car in different variations. And then there's more cars. Seriously, even more cars. This is all the cars that I've made so far, and they're more in the folders, but
30 seconds left.
Okay. I did something under that I will skip because it was ugly as fuck and I had a course, but Elden Ring inspired, didn't really come over. Anyway, favorite games. Need to talk about that. Dead Cells and Hades, great favorites. Witcher, of course, then Elden Ring, Stardew Valley, and Project Zomboid, really good zombie survival game, by the way. Currently playing Fallout, and then there's somewhere Dragon Age because it's also great. And bam, questions. Yes.
When are we co-oping Project Zombie?
Oh, if people are interested in playing, it's I love it. It's not an easy game. You will die a lot, and that's the whole part of the game. But it, it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we got time. Any more questions, Danny?
I want to know how long the banana logo took.
So, if you would do a character design for your own game, you sit down, you look at references, and then you are like, I like this. And then you make some variations, and then you're like, I like this, this, and this. Imagine you now have a client who's on a different time zone and needs everything neatly presented. So you have to make presentations for each step of the decision making you want to make and give them multiple options. And that makes a character design that you probably would do in 2 days or so stretch over whole months. But I will probably do a talk about it in detail because it's really interesting to go through the whole process. Any more questions?
What's your favorite car?
Fuck. Now you find out that I don't give a shit about cars.
Tesla.
No, actually, I like this guy. I mean, it's a redesign from mine, and I think it looks a bit like a, oh damn it, like a beaver. And I think it's adorable. But no, that's not true. I actually like the BMW 5 in matte black because it looks like a Batman car, and I want it, but it's very expensive, so yes. More questions? No? Perfect. Then I can go hide and do the next presentation in 5 months.
Alright. Next up, Brian. Broken
Greetings.
Alliance sub.
Yeah, I'm a Broken Alliance sub. That's what I am. Broken Alliance sub Ambiences. That's what I'm going to present today. So, previously on SGDC, I've shared general ambiences for the 4 different factions in Broken Alliance, who have very distinct aesthetics and very distinct sound design aesthetics as well. So the sub ambiences are localized ambiences within those areas. So we have, first up, the Phobos horror faction. We have an area that's kind of a lava volcano area, and then the town area. So I'm going to play a bit of both of those. Oh, and unmute it. Turn up the volume of the TV a little bit, could you? Let me maximize that. So, this is Fmod. There is a general kind of ambience playing in that blue region at the top. The green one is a bunch of individual audio clips that play at random, in randomized timing, so it triggers different things and it's constantly dynamic and playing back. And the red region dips the general ambience that will play behind it down a certain volume while this plays, so you still have the outside ambience of Phobos and then the localized one on top of it. Let me play the town one, so I don't run out of time. So this is the spooky kind of city area. Oak, our project lead, wanted some kind of like singing in this thing. So I had some musical sample libraries with spooky phrases that I recorded out and pitched down. So it's kind of a regular pitch and then pitched down 4 or 5 notes as well to give it this even eerier sound. I also tested it against the music of Phobos to see if it would work, because obviously if you layer something musical on top of something else that's musical, it needs to gel together, otherwise it sounds horrific. This next thing is what Oak describes as Techno Barcelona. I don't know why. It is the grassy nature park reserve in the Forge area, which is a very synthetic electronic area. They're kind of I don't know, android Egyptians. It's hard to describe them other than simple terms like that. So it's kind of very zen. I put these chimey sounds to give it a kind of a meditative sound. And some wildlife as well. Next up is the Forge town. ambience, which has some windy synthetic sounds and some robotic movements. And a ominous kind of drone as well. So there's kind of sing-songy kind of wee kind of communication from the kind of robotic elements, and then there's some kind of sounding ones as well to kind of give a more sophisticated robot versus more kind of, you know, rough around the edges type thing. How much time do I have left, James?
1 minute and 45 seconds.
Okay, I got time. So next is Paradise. So this is the river ambience. Lots of insects, water running, some frogs. Gotta put frogs in there. So this is just a localized area near some of the rivers that are running through the Paradise, which is an extremely jungle, over full of life kind of faction. They have plant creatures and witch doctors and other things like that in the game, you know, for that faction. So a little bit more relatable to kind of a human environment than Phobos and Forge. The last thing I was working on today is an alpaca ambience. There's some small animated alpacas chewing on stuff. This is what apparently alpacas sound like. They're munching on vegetation. That's just the sheep, but you know, there wasn't a lot of alpaca sounds I could find, so I used also samples of things called guanacos or something. They're similar to alpacas and llamas. I did try to use llama sounds, but they're horrific and they sound like they're screaming all the time, so I didn't really want that as a gentle ambience. And that's it for now. I do also have videos that show these ambiences in context of the music and the general ambience, but maybe I'll share one or two of those next time. Questions? Yeah, Mareike?
Would you be also someone who goes on live audio recordings? Because I know there's a alpaca farm by Grød that has alpacas, if you wanted to.
It's true, I could do that, yeah.
But in general, are you actually doing live recordings for this kind of
Only
thing?
some of the time. Sometimes just with specific kind of sounds for like some of the combat units, but for ambiences I'm not doing it too much. If it's just, it can be a bit expensive getting out to places, and I do use a service called Soundly that has quite a lot of sounds available under subscription that I can just drag in and manipulate, and sometimes I have a tendency to just try and work fast rather than, if it achieves the results, it's good enough and I can mix it in with a whole bunch of other unique elements and it does a good enough job that it conveys what I need to. I'd love to do that, but then you have to go contact the farm, get permission of the farm. If there's other people there, get permission of those people. But thank you. Maybe if I really want some specialized alpaca, I'll ask. James?
Hello. Question from the chat. Any specific inspirations or just followed your gut? Question mark.
What, just for any of the ambiences, I suppose? I mean, we have visual reference with a lot of the pixel art in the game for what the environments look like. So that is my number one inspiration first. And also, there's also the ideas that each faction uses magic differently. So magic sometimes is featured in the environments, and I try and think about what motivates those factions and what their society is like. Because we also have some town screens as well that our pixel artist has made very beautiful renditions of, and that's an inspiration. So I can look at how that society is and draw inspiration from that. Yeah. Mariana?
I wanted to ask about basically the stereo setup, because you have like
you don't just have left, right, but you have like in the bottom there, like more channels.
Mm-hmm.
And can you explain that?
I can try and explain that. I'm not sure if I fully understand it myself. I realize I just showing me tracking my time for work as well there. But around here in this box is a 3D spatialization kind of view. These particular green regions here, the scatter instruments, have two settings here, direction and extent. So extent is how far around the listener you potentially could hear sound, and also there is settings somewhere else in the video maybe where you can set the distance of things, and you can determine within what kind of a cone of space these sound sources can play from. And just the multiple meters are also showing you kind of behind you, to the side of you, and in front of you, as if you were using a surround sound system. So I think it's just showing you information in surround sound. But of course, if the end user is not using surround sound, then they're probably only mostly dealing with the middle and left and right channels. I don't fully understand it. I just have to test it. I'm not an expert in surround sound or anything at all. So, any other questions? Shu?
You mentioned that you're using some like randomness for like which like sound effects get selected.
Mm-hmm.
How robust is Fmod in terms of like letting you like can you make it so like one sound won't repeat like twice in a row, or like is it?
There are different settings within the randomization. There is shuffle, which will just take a list and not repeat anything twice in a row. And then there's randomize, where you can set percentage weightings to each file, that if you want one file to play a lot more often. Let's say there's a dragon roar in my ambience, which is going to be in an ambience I'm working on right now. I don't want that to happen very frequently. I might happen once every like 1 or 2 minutes, whereas other sounds like, I don't know, frogs or other things like that are happening more often because they're more subtle. But yeah, there is quite a lot of control, and sometimes you can add more control. You can have a whole list of sounds, but there are things called silence instruments that you can add in as well that will, it can trigger just silence and not play a file and give you like some gaps in some of the ambience. So, but I like to mix these scatter instruments with a general kind of bed that constantly plays, an ambience bed, so that you have things coming in and out and it feels very nice and random with a minimal amount of assets. One other thing I'll say as well is you can randomize things like pitch and how often they potentially can play back, to increase randomness even further with less assets. Yep. Anything else? I think I've talked enough. Cool, thank you.
Alright, speaking of assets, next up is Dani.
All right. Hello again, everyone. I'm back, and so is Mikkel. Slideshow. It's in English. Yeah. Obviously, we don't look like that in real life, but because Mikkel doesn't want to appear, that's how he's going to appear the rest of the slideshow. Anyways, we've been back to our homeland after letting Max visit his homeland. We left him in Copenhagen, and then we went to Aarhus with Konstantin and participated in a game pitching camp. I'm going to be talking, probably hold a talk about pitching and why it's important to always pretty much be pitching, and how that can help you out through most of your production pipeline anyways. And it's just good because, all kinds of things. Anyways, there was also like a Lego ice-breaking event, because of course there would be. After that, I went back to Copenhagen, met Mikkel there. Because a year earlier we had won 2 tickets to Nordic Game Jam. So yeah, we went there, and it was pretty much just like here. So that was nice. And there were, of course, more got Lego, of course, there would be. But there were a few more people there than here. And and my teammates from Denmark also showed up, so that was great. Apart from one. There we go. Oh. So we ended up making bud gobblers, but we were just having fun most of the time, so we didn't really finish it. But I was still having some fun making a weird, strange thing. But it's completely broken. It's a really shitty game, which I think is very fitting. So we had some fun with that. After that, there was the week after that there was another game jam in Viborg, so we went there. We've been participating in that for like all of them for a decade, and they have like about 2 game jams every year. And I have not broken my streak yet, so I'm happy with that. We did a monkey game because of course we would. This is just the intro thing. So you're like a miserable monkey in a monkey pen, and it's a wonderful game. You can't really do much. You can walk around. You can take the melons from the other monkeys and eat them, and you can go over to like a melon dispenser. So that's great. You could also climb the one tree we put in there, so that's great. We added a button for screaming. That's great. Also, like, the only way to win the game is to just not eat, and so he starves, and then the game is over, and you've pretty much escaped life, I guess. So that's great. Anyways, of course, that would be an award-winning game. We won an award for sound, thanks to Miguel, pretty much. And we also won an award for being the most fucked up game. That was great. After that, went back to Aarhus, hanged out with our mom, celebrated my brother's Miguel's birthday. So that was great, and now we are back. We've also been working on core, but we ain't got time to talk about that now, so that'll be next time. So that was it. Questions? Tintin.
Have you considered selling your services to PETA?
No. But maybe I should. Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to be back. Thanks, everyone.
Those were some of the stuff I had to fight against when we had a game jam together. Next up, Mariana.
Hello. I don't have many words. It's been a bit more than a month since I last presented about Korter. Korter means apartment in Estonia, and it's a game about apartments. And this time, one of the main updates is that I've done something I haven't yet done with this game, which I added some. I made a roadmap with some deadlines. So you can see here, there's gonna be a demo on 1st of August, and I really hope that's true. Also, there's a little, if you see here in the corner, there's a little fruit car, and a pig is driving it. Hopefully that will get us there if it doesn't break down. So yeah, today is the first milestone kind of thing, so I want to do a presentation, and we set our goals to have apartment 5 kind of ready to play. It's has some stuff. It's not like perfect yet, so play testing will be next week. But since last time, we've updated the basically they're like spaces to represent the inhabitant of that apartment, and we made it the way that person likes it. So we've updated TV corner, office, and cozy corner. We've added some openable toolboxes because our character is also a mechanic and likes to fix a lot of stuff. And some updates to the systems. So we had some issues with pixel snapping. It's fixed finally, so everything can be pixel perfect. Lots of small bug fixes, and also working on stackable items, so we can like have everything nice and tight, and you can. But I have a little bit of gameplay. I'll just put this not auto because it never does the thing. Maybe the volume can be higher again because I don't have screaming monkeys. So yeah, can I call? No, yes. So right now it's still a bit empty, so we'll add more more items and story elements, and in a week's time we'll be ready for a little play test here in the house. And the next milestone for Korter is UI update and inventory system, so we'll have a little like IKEA catalog that you find where you can pick up stuff and order them to your apartment. So you can like also put stuff you find in other apartments in your apartment. So yeah, if you like picking up things and putting them back down, then next week playtesting. Any questions? Yes.
I thought the hand was super cute.
Yeah. Yes, that's. I agree. Hi.
What framework did you use to make this?
Framework?
Yeah, like what engine, what programming language?
Unity. And basically, I'm doing more of on the art and concept side, and Flan is doing the programming for it. Johanna?
Can you water the plants that was on the wall? They look too yellow.
Oh yeah. It's like it was just like choosing colors from the color scheme because there's no green anywhere, and then they turned out yellow. But maybe that's a good idea to add. Mareike?
Will the game also have this interactability? I've seen like the broken TV in parts, and then can you have these kind of puzzles where you actually have to fix up things and make them work again? Or?
Probably we'll have something like that for the next playtest as well, like some kind of like putting together puzzle thing. Yes.
Next up, Hjalte.
Many people named Hjalte today.
We're all named Hjalte. These are my clones.
Clown?
Clones.
Oh.
Well, you're a clown, but
Oh,
the other guys.
Fair.
I don't think I'll start.
All right. We also participated in the Game Jam over the last weekend, and there's a lot of stuff to get through, so I'll get right to it. So our team is the assembly you see here, as well as Medium Chris Online. We ended up, when we went into Jam initially, it was Pontus and me. We wanted to do a game together, but then we had a big brainstorming event in here we are, there for the online people as well. We had some brainstorming, and then inspired by the game design walks, we took a walk together to discuss ideas and had several different ideas, but in the end there was only one idea that really stuck with us, so we decided, well, instead of doing many different groups, we all put our efforts together and went one big group. So the theme of the jam was Lost Signal, and we also had to include a balloon, and since I convinced the rest of my team that a submarine is a balloon, we made a submarine game. And I'll hand it over to Shu to explain a bit about what the game is like and the gameplay.
So gameplay, basically you're a submarine, you have this little ping that you can do to reveal the landscape, otherwise you don't see it. And you are trying to activate these beacons. For example, here you're not hitting it because it's through the wall, but when you ping and you have like a direct line of sight, then you will activate the beacon, and now that beacon will start pulsing and revealing the landscape. So as you go, you'll see more and more of the landscape. Also, if you run in the wall, you lose some health, and it gives you kind of a free ping. And then, when you're low on pings or low on health, you can go back and magnet up your health, I guess. So I did the level design on this, which was great because we had a bunch of programmers, so I got to focus 100% on level design. And that was really fun, just kind of like, building a level out of little rocks and whatnot. Rémi was very helpful. He gave me some advice about landmarks. Otherwise, the game probably would have just been random tunnels, but he mentioned like the importance of having places on the map that people recognize. So I got Hjalte to add some landmarks, so you kind of remember, this is the part where the anchor is. And now it is Hjalte's turn.
Right. So for the art, we started out with we didn't really know what the game was. It's just like a submarine and some kind of sonar. So we would just want to do simple pixel art, so Pontus could also help, and then maybe slap a CRT effect to make it nice. And we started out doing some mock-ups, and we sort of had the same idea of like this mimicking a real radar with, you could sort of see the outlines of walls, and had this idea of like a sonar going out that would sort of reveal the outlines of the terrain, and those would stick around for a minute or a second or two. And sort of slapped that in with a CRT effect, and it was alright, but then I saw that Hugo had done a little sonar effect, and I was like, okay, this is not a pixel art game. This is this is more like a real radar, and I really enjoyed that. So I was like, enjoy the radar. Enjoy how you can have like these sort of distortions in the radar, and I really wanted to mimic the radar effect a lot more with this sort of vector graphics that come with it. So sorry, Pontus, we're doing vector graphics now. So yeah, and it also made something simpler. Like I could just make these like weird shapes, and that's like okay, ship those over to Shu, and he figures out how to make that a level. And the actual objects in the game were sort of like icons, and yeah, that ended up being kind of cool because it's sort of like a real radar, I guess. We also made a round like a real radar, but it looked pretty bland until I think around noon on Saturday. Hugo and I were just fucking jamming, and we were thinking like, okay, it should be like a physical round sphere screen. It should have some sort of fisheye lens effect, and so we sort of just fucked around in the rendering stack, and we found this lens distortion thing that immediately made the game look a lot better. And then we accidentally stumbled upon the depth of field thing, which also made the game look better. And then we discovered that this focus distance kind of like blurs the image, so maybe we can like animate it when you get hit to like make it like a nice blur hit effect. And it was just sort of, that was a lot of how it went. We just kind of, I would have Enrique and Hugo do just fucking around with the shaders and throw it back and forth until it worked, and it just made the game look a lot better.
Really quick. So this was the post-processing effects that we did, like fisheye, blur, depth of fields. The CRT monitor is render pass in the full screen, render pass that affects all the screen. The sonar we use only 2D lights will be just for mockup, but ended up like working well. Like I knew that I could like put all the sprites with lit and only the sonar as the only source of light, and we kind of give this the effect, but was just for mockup, and we ended up like creating a custom lit shade, custom lit material that used the Unity's original code, but we could add a custom shadow color so that we could have this green background, not black. And that was it. Results, like we are out of time, so we won. That's it. And the interesting thing is that like we got first place in almost everything except the balloon that we don't have.
Not many people think submarine is a balloon.
Yeah, exactly. They don't believe in it.
And they're wrong.
Yeah. Questions? Brian?
How was it working with 7 of you in a team? Because sometimes having lots of people in a team for a game jam isn't the most easy thing.
Yeah, sure.
So I was dreading working with this many people. I didn't even know it until we sat down and started working. But it was truly amazing to work with all these people. And especially for me as a beginner, no one ever made me feel like I couldn't do something in the game. Like everyone was so helpful. And this team is just, they're like butter on toast, man. Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so implementing that, I think what made it work mostly was the fact that nobody was too passionate about the project. Right? This thing was nobody's baby. Everybody just wanted to make a good game.
In the beginning, we didn't even know how the game will even really be, like the mechanics and all. We were like figuring out during doing stuff. And
are you gonna polish it up and release it?
that's an idea.
Most likely.
Perchance. Yeah, we're discussing this idea, but yeah, there's a chance of this happening. Glenn?
Was it like boys versus girls in the house?
No.
Well, not on purpose. No, it just happened this way.
Happened, yeah, like.
Yeah, I believe their team was formed before, like we had like a brainstorm session. So
Yeah.
it was not intentional.
Anyone else? Okay then. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next up, Rémi is gonna do it for Oka. Are you gonna do an Oka or do it for Oka?
I'm gonna do an
He's
Oka.
doing an Oka.
Yes. Hello, my name is Rémi. You may know me from timeless classics such as Frog-like and Time Glitch. But today, I'm showing something different. And I need a volunteer. Johanna. She was the quickest.
Yeah, I understood what doing an orca meant, so I was ready.
Yes, good job.
I'm starting with waiting.
Okay, if you want.
Oh no, I have moves.
Don't know when the first time it's taking a while, but just keep pressing the key.
Okay,
Yeah.
I pressed a different key. Oh no, I forgot I had moves.
Nice.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
I waited.
You make it look easy.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh no, I waited too early. No. Look at this one was less easy. No.
I hope there will be enough levels to fit the 5 minutes.
Time out.
To fill 5 minutes.
No. Now I feel a lot of pressure.
Feel free to help if you have ideas.
Do it.
Thank you, thank you. No. Oh, that's a strange. Can I start with No, wait. Undo. Did I undo? Wait. No, what was undo? Is it Z? Z
Yeah.
for undo.
Z, yeah.
Okay, Z. And there. But no, that's not gonna work either. I need help. So I need to reverse the time. Wait.
Did you get what the red guy is doing?
Yeah, going backwards.
Yes.
And now. No, but because I need.
No.
No. Wait, undo. I need to. So I need to. Okay. Wait. That might be too much. Waiting, no. But I forget what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I want to. What? I want to.
Put the books in that orange zone.
Ah!
I got this.
Thank you, thank you.
I think you need to wait then.
Yeah, no, I think. Do I need to?
You can go forward, go back, go forward again, and get.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, and get now.
And now.
No,
Wait, no.
I think first get, and then it will get back to the original place, and then you push.
Yeah, like
something like that.
to. And can I wait here? Oh no.
Any questions?
No.
My question is how to solve the level. Can you show?
I can't show because Jana is playing right now. I will show it later. Someone else? No. Sure.
What engine are you using?
Godot. I'm trying to learn how to use Godot. So. Okay.
Why are you making this game?
It's I don't know if you remember. I can show the video, but like 3 years ago, I made a Tenet game.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch, but I could not make it a working puzzle game because it was real time, and I wanted to try same principle but with like turn-based in this kind of like grid-based movements as well. So more like a Sokoban game, but with that time, like reverse time mechanic. So yeah, I just had this idea and I wanted to experiment with Godot, so I made that. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but yes.
I just want to ask, will you continue working on this, or was it more?
I don't know. I will see. I think like I could probably figure out a bunch of mechanics and make levels quickly, and could probably release a small something in a short time. Yeah, I don't know yet. I will probably have a couple of like more playtests and try out some stuff, and if it seems promising, I will probably try to release it as a small thing on Steam. Yeah, I don't need to tell. Yes.
Are you still working on Cube?
I'm still thinking about working on Q. Still dreaming about it sometimes. No, didn't make any progress in the past few months. No other questions? All right, then I can. Oh! You got it! Okay. Good job.
Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, Joanna. And thank you, everyone.
Josef!
Okay. Let's hope this works. Thank you. Hi, I'm Josef. I've been here for a while. As you can maybe tell, I tried to do this presentation a few times. We didn't have time so far. I set myself a challenge. Can I make this presentation in 20 minutes? Because I, somehow moved it to 5 something today. Answer's probably not, but here we go. This is my introduction. I'm from Germany. I'm from around Munich. This is a view where I lived. I studied in Bayreuth, and one of my first jobs I got before properly working in the games industry, was working on escape rooms. This is one of the coolest ones I've built with a few people. This was in Egypt, building a massive book that you had to get into and solve puzzles in. It was pretty fun. It was for a company that also works a lot with kids or like socially disadvantaged people, just making escape rooms to engage them in making games and making something productive and working together with other people from your community. It was pretty nice. That was right before we started our company. It's called Sleep Studios. I'm one of 5 founders, and I'm also a programmer and kind of game designer sometimes. Here are a few of the games that we're working on or have worked on or planning to work on. Downfall Hearts is a roguelike dungeon crawler type of game. I built a few of the systems, like procedural spawning of different rooms connected to each other.
Waldstein will be like a reconstruction, more of a museum type game. Or not really a game, it's more of an experience where we want to reconstruct an old castle ruin to its former state in VR, or at least in like a digital environment. And here we have Trail of Toads, and I heard people here like frogs. Can show a little bit of the game. It's a 3D platformer. It's a side project of ours. You can grapple with your tongue, you can jump around, you can eat bugs, and yeah, launch yourself everywhere, hear the bugs. It's also kind of a collectathon game, so you try to collect a lot of things throughout this entire world. Started out as a game jam project, and we also won it and got a little bit of money, so we thought, okay, let's just keep going and keep this in the back. Yeah. Exactly, so a few... Yeah, if enemies you can punch stuff. Alright. While I'm here, I might as well show the project that I'm currently also working on. Just Windstorm Remastered. This is contract work where we are remastering a horse game in Unreal Engine 5. Trying to bring it back to the latest graphics and stuff. Making it look nice and yeah, breaking all of the systems inside as part of the process. Okay, here are a few games that I like or I have played. I think Hades is also one of my favorites. I like from my childhood, definitely Age of Mythology and the Age of Empires series. And yeah, roguelikes in general, which of course a few a bit less known titles that I like Lords just came out recently, and it's kind of fun. And yeah, interests. I like traveling. I've been to Norway recently, which is one of the reasons why everything got pushed out a bit. I like archery. I've been doing it since I was 14 or something. As a hobby, cooking and baking, and plants. I'm also like in a plant group now, trying to establish a tomato farm to support everybody here. Yeah, this is about where I ran out of time. You can talk to me about Unreal Engine stuff. Like, I'm happy to talk to people. And yeah, do you have any questions? Yes.
Do you have any favorite like type of bow?
I've used a longbow, but I would like to look into like horse archery with the recurve bows, which is kind of fun. But they are kind of expensive if you want to have a nice looking one. Or like a good one. Yeah?
You brought your bow here?
Sadly, no. It was too big and like with the arrows as well. I barely made it with my PC here. Yes, James.
Do you consider crossbows cheating?
Yes. Also sights and stuff. Like I like instinctive shooting. No attachments, no bullshit.
Just like real men. No attachments.
They would look pretty funny, yeah.
But you have some strings attached.
Oh my god.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Alright, Alice? Yeah?
That's it. So, hold on, there's one more question.
How long are you staying?
Till August, at least. Then we'll see you. I'll probably go on holiday and maybe come back. Or maybe go somewhere else. I don't know yet.
Oh, sorry, what was the name of the Toad platforming game?
Trail of Toads.
Trail of Toads, right.
Yeah. Yes.
Favorite cake?
Oh, that's difficult. I've made Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte once, which was really nice. But I've also made a bunch of cheesecake or like our family cake, which is kind of, I don't know, a bit similar to tiramisu, but also kind of not. Follow-up question? No?
Are you available for cake-off? in Schwarzwälder Küste.
Oh my god.
I just made one recently.
I think I would fail, but I'm happy to make something. Yes, James.
Why don't you think sandwich cake is the best cake?
I've never had it, so I guess I would have to try.
What do you even know?
Nothing. There are too many.
Probably more than the person who came up with sandwich cake.
Yeah. Okay, I think
Alright.
that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A big hype from the chat about the gardening club. People are excited. Next up, just like with my previous joke, the Twin Towers didn't hit once, twice. Martin!
Okay, who thinks I'm gonna figure this out this time? Taking bets.
I bet against you.
No one's taking bets. Come on. Oh. Let's see. And I will have to respond on this computer. I'll respond. Screen share? No, wait. Let's share your screen. And the entire screen. Go live. Can you see it?
Yes.
Insane.
Whoa! Infinity.
This, yeah. Okay, cool. So I thought I would do
Maximize.
maximize.
Double triple.
Oh yeah, two computers. This is very confusing. I thought I would do a live demo of what I have. At first I was going to talk about caves and cave generation, but then I realized that I actually don't like my cave generation. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to rewrite it instead. But I'm just going to show you kind of what I have. So I have this cool cave that I don't like, which is randomly generated. I have some cool lighting with nice soft shadows. And I have recently implemented a destructible terrain mechanic. You have to press like a madman to dig through stuff, but you can't actually dig. There's also some kind of makeshift shooting mechanic. So this is slowly turning into something that is kind of playable. But what I've been spending the most time on recently is actually netcode, which is a pain in the ass. But you can actually play multiple players, and it kind of mostly works. And I'm pretty happy about that. But there's still jank, still way more stuff to do. But yeah, pretty excited about having a mostly working, networked, almost game. And I think that is pretty much what I have to say. Over the next kind of 4 weeks, I'm gonna try to make this fun and not just like a tech demo. But yeah, my TED Talk. Thank you. Questions, James? Go, James.
Are you using cellular automata for the cave generation?
Yes. It's cellular automata and yes, it's a noise texture, and then it's cellular automata, and then marching squares. So.
What is it that you don't like about your cave?
The problem is that it's kind of like very random because it starts out with just a noise texture, and so like it's kind of hard to make it like an interesting level design out of it. So I'm going to make it more kind of intentional, so you have actual places to go and points of interest. Yes, fine.
What's at the bottom?
Bottom?
Yeah. Is there a bottom?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you go all the way to the bottom, you just fall through, and you're falling forever into the. But there will be something at the bottom. Kind of the goal is like as you go further down, it gets more and more hairy, and you find the thing at the bottom, and then you win. Mareike.
My question is basically why? What's the world building, or what? Is
Oh yeah, no.
just okay.
That will. I want to do that stuff too, but right now I'm just knee deep in the technical stuff.
But I guess why are you doing it?
What?
Why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Because I like co-op games, and I think there aren't enough of them. Yes, Brian.
Based on the multiplayer look, are you going to be chased by a giant Pac-Man? These are placeholder graphics. I'm thinking probably frogs, you know, to fit in with the rest of the house. Yes, sure.
Do you have an idea of like what you'll be doing in the game in terms of like, are you like fighting enemies? Are you trying to go somewhere, collect stuff?
Yeah. So the goal is to basically get the thing at the bottom. That is the goal, and on the way you'll be fighting stuff. That's the general high level overview. But still details TBD. I'm gonna work on that.
What language?
This is using Rust and Bevy. No. Thank you.
I'd rather have Rust with Bevy than Rust on my Chevy. Is it Pontus' turn now? Is it? Sure. Pontus! No, wait! I'm sorry.
Pontus, you have the back. Go.
I was so feeling like, no, it's the guy who didn't show up in time. It must have been Pontus.
Good. No, I feel like not showing up in time is very much like in character by now for me. But hey, let's see. Tower time! Where is the keyboard switch over the side? No. Whatever? No.
Old school dining hall.
Ah. Yes, that's changing. No, I've been busy building a tower in Unreal and like to try out some things. How's it going? Well, I started out with like a very basic concept, just like I want a tower and it has to be in a hole so the players don't run away from the tower. They have to go up the tower. And then once you reach the top, you probably get out. So very abstract, lonely vertical level designs, and like didn't plan anything out aside from you start in tower, you move up. And then I was like, oh, but I have these asset packs, and spent like a full day doing weird stuff with them. Was like, no, this is better. It looks ugly, but at least it like works. So you can see like very quickly like the basic shape, just a hole. You put the tower in the inside of the tower is a spiral staircase that like then just subtract booleans out of. A lot of gizmos because like I found that I can duplicate thingies and like arrange them in patterns that will not affect performance. Surely, actually didn't. But yeah, so like doing the first layer and then like figuring out how to use all the Unreal like building stuff. And my kind of goal with this was like, can I avoid going into Blender? Can I just build the entire thing in Unreal? And it works if you subtract like weird wiggly shapes out of the staircases. You have like cool broken geometry. Like artist's probably not going to be happy with texturing me, but I'm going to be the artist, so that's like fine. Then you see like I figured out I can break stuff. I could not figure out how to freeze it in place, so I didn't use that. Just kept going higher and higher, and you can see like now it's like the typical like it's like the one of the third of the thingies you get in a YouTube reel, where it's like someone jumping in a Minecraft challenge. Yeah, that's around the tower now, and like weird skeleton obstacles. And then there is something in this picture which will like destroy the entire experience. Can you find it? It is these things, because if you use booleans for everything, you have these tiny leftovers if you are unclean, and the only way to see them is just turn on wireframe view and search your thing as if you're like going like, I have to find a spy or this country goes down, and then delete all of them. But that is now fixed, so now you don't jump into a wall and fall, and there was nothing that should have stopped you. But yeah, did some more concept stuff to just like expand and was like, where do I want to go? And this was the playtest, because I made a build without having realized that the Unreal Inspector makes things lighter so you can see them. And if you don't put light in, it's dark. But yeah, was quickly fixed by just putting lights in. And then I got playtest feedback. The game is not a worse experience than the rest of my day had been. I would say yes! That is exactly what I was going for, so I'm very happy. We'll continue without changes. These were like the inside now, like all of content, and the outside of the tower, just like layers upon layers, and a few other things. Setting up a repository is fun. Thank you, Josef. Thank you so much. And yes, why does the camera have arms? It's also deleting the arm causes errors. So I deleted more stuff and it worked. But just like, yeah, it's fine to use the Unreal controller. But yeah, I'm on timer, so use booleans to cut out all the stuff. It's very easy. I can highly recommend it for blockouts. It's so much better than like building the thing and like in layers that like fit. Just like you need a hole, punch a hole. It works. And yeah, takeaways, it works reliably in Unreal. I haven't textured stuff, so I'll get to that, and then maybe the next talk will be don't do this. We will see. If you duplicate stuff, use something so like unify to avoid if you cut one of the things in half, all the other things also getting automatically cut in half because they're instances of the same object. I was really confused. Keep snapping on because otherwise your level design will be way more complicated. And yeah, what I showed about the wireframe thingies. Try all the tools, they're really good. On the, yeah, I use the first-person controller from Unreal. It's good if you don't have standards, but it works. I'll have to rewrite or like adjust that one for the next project I do. But yeah, next talk, once I have made like textures and fog and audio stuff and added it to it. Let's see where it goes. Any questions? I saw you first.
When you build with booleans in Unreal, do you end up with just a mesh, like an end result, or do you get like all of, does it list everything that was used to make that boolean mesh?
You get to choose if you want the objects to survive and then have like the intersection or like the cutout. So like there is a lot of modular things. I also use that to like, if I have the staircase, like cut it out. So I have the inner part and the outer part. So I can take the outer part and like drop it onto the floor. So like it crumbles, so to speak. So that's really nice. James.
Tiny Chris asks, are you going to make a finished product out of this, or is it just a learning experience?
I feel like I'm gonna make like a finished product on like it, just throwing it on each level. So like I want audio, I want like a vibe that I'm going for that is like consistent, which also means I will probably have to adjust how it handles because like jumping wise. But yeah, I want to throw it on each just to be like, hey, I made something. Just because I feel like that's always healthy for me. Still. Okay.
What methods have you considered for texturing?
I have considered the method of that is a problem once I come to texturing. There is stuff in Unreal for it. I've seen that like with remeshing and like adjusting stuff, so I'll look into what Unreal can do for me. But I want like a very pixelated, old schooly style, so like it will not be like very fancy textures anyway. Is that a follow-up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you considered triplanar shading?
I have not thought about it. But if you have recommendations, feel free to send them to me and I'll take a look at them. I saw another hand.
Do you reckon it's a good idea to make a game based on jumping on little Boolean leftovers?
Yes, I now want to make that. Okay, anything else? Oh, over there. So, yes.
Are you having to use like the new nanite technology or like thing in the Unreal Engine?
Is it on by default? Because if yes, then I'm using it. If no, I did not adjust anything.
Oh, yeah,
I like literally loaded the example project and started building.
Oh, so it'll help with performance if that's what you're worried about.
Oh, okay.
But it's also buggy as hell for this too. So it's good if you can get to work.
Okay, if performance starts becoming a problem, I'll ask you about it and you can tell me like what I need to do. Okay, I feel like that's all the questions. What's that?
Go back to that slide.
Oh no, Josef held his presentation. I had prepared a shaming slide if he had not held his presentation. So that was
Control shares the
Now we're going
He helped you.
All right. That was everything for this time. If you enjoy your life, you should continue living it. If you don't, well, it's up to you.
There is one presentation
We won't
left.
be here.
Is it public?
Yes, no.
Yeah, no. We won't be here next week, so find some other way to entertain yourself. Bye.